Thank you guys for joining me. Unafraid, right or wrong. It is Friday, September 8th. We got a couple good things on deck for you guys. First of which is the Oregon. When you watch the Oregon-Nebraska game this weekend, they're going to be wearing the Doernbecher uniforms. We're going to go into that, stomping out cancer. Big time deal for the community, big time deal for the Ducks, big time deal for these kids who are dealing with cancer. The second thing up, though, is Antonio Cromartie. He is expecting his 14th child. This man has magic sperm. He's already had a vasectomy, and now he's on his 4th child after having a vasectomy. I don't know how the math on that works, but apparently it does. And then the last thing up is Kevin Sumlin. He is, so I wrote about him recently. Everybody knows they famously lost to UCLA, and people were calling for him to be fired. And now some jerks have taken it a little bit too far. They've taken it to death threats, and not just any death threats, but racist death threats. And that's where we will start, is with Kevin Sumlin, and then we'll get to the Oregon uniforms and Antonio Cromartie's super sperm. So I recently wrote about Kevin Sumlin, and they lost to UCLA. They were up 44-10, and UCLA came back. People were calling for his head, and especially one guy that sits on the board of regents. His name is Tony Busby, who took to social media. And I was upset about that just in general because, number one, Kevin Sumlin does not deserve to be fired. And the second thing is, how in the hell do Texas A&M fans get off thinking that they should be national championship contenders at all right now? Because when you look at the school, right, Kevin Sumlin has taken a B program in Texas A&M and raised them up. He's never finished below 8-5. For the last 5 years, they've had a top 15 recruiting class. If you have good recruiting classes, you can win national championships. So he's doing a good job. This is where things go left, because the guy, he posted on Facebook, he said he might be criticized for this, but he sits on the board of regents. Kevin Sumlin was out-coached. He hustled them for a new contract, and they were more talented, dominated on national TV again. You owe it to your school and players to do better. People always ask me about firing coaches, because we just recently went through this at the University of Oregon. And I say two things. Every coach has to be evaluated at the end of every season. You have to evaluate two things. You have to evaluate, number one, the first question that you need to ask when you're deciding whether do we keep our coach or do we fire our coach. No matter whether you won a national championship or you went 0-12, you need to ask these same two questions. Number one, is there a guaranteed upgrade over the current coach? Like somebody who is guaranteed to come in and win. Like if you are at UCLA, if you could get Nick Saban instead of Jim Mora, then yeah, you make that move. If you are, Western Michigan and you can get Chip Kelly, doesn't matter who your coach is, you can fire your coach. So that's the first question. The second question is there still hope? Can your coach walk into the living room of high school players, junior college players, and sell them on the idea that the future is brighter than the past? And by that I mean, if you won the national championship the previous year, can you sell those kids on that you can do it again? If you won 8 games the previous year, can you sell them on a potential national championship? If you won 4 games, can you sell them on, that you're going to be a contender next year? Now, those are the two questions that you need to ask. And when you look at Texas A&M, Kevin Sumlin is still selling hope. There's still plenty of hope. And his wife posted, while there is still plenty of hope, let me get back to what his wife posted on. She posted it on either Instagram or she posted it on Twitter. A picture of a death threat that they got from the address at the Houston Country Club. I'm sorry, yeah, a country club around there. And it said, "You suck as a coach. You're a nigger and can't win. Please get lost or else. Excuse me? Excuse me. Like, how dare you, fan, like, be upset with this man, Kevin Sumlin? That's the part that's, like, insanely crazy to me. Is how are you going to be mad at Kevin Sumlin and want the man fired when the man has done nothing but elevate your program? Man has won. He's done well. And here's where sometimes we get things lost as fans when we get caught up with our team, right? We get caught up in our team. We get caught up in the hype. We get caught up in wanting to win. And we lose track of reality. And reality is, this is just a game. I mean, like, this is not life or death. This is not, this is not your life is on the line. Because most people who cheer for these teams, they didn't go to those schools. They don't have any financial investment. Their kids not in school there. They're nothing, right? But you're willing to kill the coach over that, or even insinuate that you would. It's like people who get in fights at Raiders games or Chargers games or any other football game. Do you realize that the people on the field aren't going to fight each other? They're more than likely not going to fight each other. So you're willing to fight somebody else over guys who are not going to fight over their job. I mean, like, let's really be real about it. I mean, I understand that being a fan is important because I'm a diehard fan of the Ducks. Diehard. But let's just really keep things into perspective. Because if you don't, then people end up getting hurt. People end up dying. And that's not worth it, I'll tell you that much. That is not worth it. So whoever wrote this to Kevin Sumlin, I hope you are found out. I hope that you end up being prosecuted for making terrorist threats on somebody's life, on his family life. And I just got a good comment. Said, players shake hands after the game. They go out to dinner and all that stuff, but the fans want to be the people to throw hands. They want to be the ones to engage in fisticuffs, want to call each other out of their name, cuss out in front of the kids. Over the damn game? Like, let's just really be real. Let's just keep things in perspective. Let's buy our jerseys, cheer for our teams, but nobody's going to die. Nobody needs to die at the game. And when you look at Kevin Sumlin and what he has provided for this program at Texas A&M, I mean, like, he's given them life. Like, they hadn't won in forever. They hadn't won anything in forever. They came from being a Big 12 team over to the SEC, and now they are a national destination for recruits. They had only had 2 seasons since 1998 with more than 8 wins. And this man has never finished below 8 wins. But you want him fired. Like, what the hell kind of sense does that make? You want Kevin Sumlin fired, but he's the one who's actually, like, winning for you? And this is where people get it mixed up. They're like, we want national championships. We want national championships. I get it. I completely understand. I want my Ducks to win a national championship. Everybody wants to be a national powerhouse. But the reality is it takes time. You probably can't remember the last time a national championship has been won by a team that wasn't a traditional powerhouse. It's been since 1990. I mean, like, let's just really keep this in perspective. It's been 1990 that a team not named Clemson, Texas, Alabama, Florida State, Florida, Ohio State, Auburn, USC, Oklahoma, Michigan, Nebraska, Tennessee, or LSU won a national championship. Mind you, these are household names. Like, these are some of the biggest names in college football. Those are the people who are winning national championships. So if you want to win national championships, you have to get on that level. And it takes a long time to establish that credibility. Look at USC. USC has been under sanctions. They have bad bowl restrictions and can still sign top classes. What kind of sense is that? I mean, why do you think that happens? So when now the fact that Texas A&M can have top 15 classes year in and year out, that means that you're getting closer to where you need to be. And this is the man to lead you. I'll tell you this, though. If you guys want him fired, I hope you get what you deserve, which is 4 and 8 seasons, a bunch of 4 and 8 seasons. If Texas struggles, even though I don't think they will with Tom Herman, they fired Charlie Strong, a man who was recruiting big time out there. They just didn't have a good team. Whatever. But let's go from a team of fans who are not doing the right thing to a team of fans who are doing the right thing. And that would be the Oregon Ducks. I know I'm an Oregon Duck guy, so don't call me a homer for this. The Oregon Ducks this week, when they play against Nebraska, they will be playing in special uniforms. These are not the typical uniforms that Oregon wears in terms of just changing uniforms for whatever reason to commemorate the old teams or to wear something new, dressed like the Duck. No, this week they will be wearing jerseys to help raise money for cancer research, equipment, and all that for the OHSU Doernbecher Children's Hospital in Portland, Oregon. The best part about these uniforms and what the Oregon Ducks have done in this situation is that they have used 3 kids that were in the hospital with cancer to help design the uniforms. And I don't mean a little bit of design. Like, they actually have done the designs themselves. I posted a picture of it on my Twitter. Actually, I'll post it on Facebook soon. The uniforms are dope. They're amazing. And the kids who helped design it are Sophia Malinowski, who's 10, Ethan Frank, who's 13, and Joe McDonald, who's 14. And these kids have had brain cancer. Forget what the other one had. But the 3 Oregon Ducks who helped design it are Tyrell Crosby, what is his name? Khalil Oliver, and Justin Hollins. You guys, make sure you guys share the feed, like the feed, so we can continue to bring this to you every day on Unafraid, Right or Wrong. So over the last 14 years, Nike has already worked with them to help raise over $17 million. And the whole jersey concept is Stomp Out Cancer. They came out with a new logo and all that, and you can do nothing but commend them. You can do nothing but commend Nike, the Doernbecher Hospital, the students at Oregon who've helped with this, the equipment manager Kenny Farr, my man, who is always in on doing the right thing. I'm excited about that. And you have to love what's been going on. And one of the best parts about the whole entire uniform is that on the knuckles of the gloves, this is the first time Nike's ever done it, they say overcome. They say overcome on there. I love it. I love what they're doing with this. And so many times in sports, right, we get to paying attention to and giving so much notoriety and praise and criticism to guys on the field. And when they get in trouble, we bring them down. But when people are out there doing the right thing, they need to be applauded as well. So I'm going to applaud the Oregon Ducks. I'm going to applaud these kids from the Doernbecher Hospital. And if you want to buy some of these items, you can look on the Oregon Ducks site, goducks.com. You can look on Nike site probably as well, because the stuff started being available September 4th. Go buy some, support. I know you guys have been donating a lot to Houston. You're going to donate some more to Irma. But I'm a family who has been greatly affected by cancer. Pretty much all my grandparents had it. This is just what it is. So this is a cause that's near and dear to my heart as well. So big up to the Ducks. Even if you're Stinky Dogs fans, Washington Huskies fans, still big up to the Ducks. You have to love it. You have to appreciate it. The last thing up today, though, is Antonio Cromartie. Like, this is a story from, like, you had to have made this up. But I didn't. I didn't make this up. This is just the truth. Antonio Cromartie, if you don't know him, is an NFL player. He went to Florida State, but most people know him from the Hard Knocks, the HBO Hard Knocks episode when he was with the Jets, and he went to go naming his 8 kids. And in his defense, okay, here's a little bit of insider information, because I talked to one of the people who produced the show, one of the head people of the show. When Antonio Cromartie did the thing on Hard Knocks, when he had to name his kids, he named them all immediately and very fast. But that's not good TV. So what did they ask him to do? They asked him to retape it and say it slower. What did he do? He complied, and then he ended up looking stupid. So just a little piece of insider information for you there now. But now Antonio Cromartie, who got married in 2008, the man, including his wife Tamika, had a daughter from a previous relationship. They now have 14 kids. I mean, like, they have more than Phillip Rivers' 8 or 9, right? I mean, that's a lot of damn kids. I have 4, and that's a damn lot. So 14 is insanity, right? Here is an interesting note about this. Antonio Cromartie had a vasectomy after kid number 10. So how on earth do you end up with 14 kids? And can anybody answer this for me? Can anybody answer this? How you end up with 14 kids after you already started, after you had a vasectomy at 10? Can you please explain that to me? Because it makes no sense to me how you can end up with 14 kids after you had a vasectomy at 10. Because here's this. Granted, he did have twins in between. So he had one, then he had twins, and now he's having another one. At the point in time that I had the one kid, after I had a vasectomy, because the whole point of a vasectomy is to stop having kids. At the point in time I had one, okay, God wanted me to have another one. This is a miracle. However, I'm going in to go check on this vasectomy situation. Because might not have healed properly, might not have been done properly. I don't know if the man did this, but then the man showed up with twins after that. Okay, fine, whatever. You don't get it checked after that. But after you have the damn twins? What? You're just going to keep letting this happen. You're just going to keep going down the rabbit hole, huh? Antonio's a good dude. He's found his faith. He realized that he was wilding out when he was young because originally, even before he got married, he had 8 kids by 7 women. He has custody of the majority of these kids. He's a good dude. I like him, right? But here's the thing. I have to question his reasoning. I have to question how, how smart he is at this point in time, just because I'm going to get my vasectomy checked. I mean, unless this dude has like magic sperm that just fly through tied up knots or burned off edges, or however you get your tubes, however you get your vasectomy done. Yeah, no. No way, Jose. Because truth be told, my wife is trying to get me to have a vasectomy right now, and I'm terrified of it. I'm terrified about it. Just because I'm like, oh man, like it feels in some way like you're cutting off your manhood. I know that this is simple thinking on my part, but in some kind of way feels weird. It just does. So Antonio Cromartie, I have to give you a big what the hell are you thinking today? Because there's under no circumstances should you have 14 kids, 4 more kids, I should say, after you already had a vasectomy. Did anybody have any questions, comments, or anything about the Kevin Sumlin thing? Just because I wrote about it, I posted about it. You guys can check my Twitter feed at George Reister. I'll post it on Facebook as well, so that way you know what's going on. Yeah, because under no circumstances, like, should we take football this seriously? First of all, Kevin Sumlin doesn't deserve to be fired. But then to take it to the next level of death threats, you're going too far. Not even just death threats, but racist death threats. Calling them niggers, calling them all type of things. And that's probably not the first one. But imagine this man's kids, right? His kids are sitting there like they have to go to school with these people that are doing this. And yes, the address was from a Houston country club. A Houston country club that this return address was at. I don't know if somebody from the country club sent it I don't know if somebody wanted to frame somebody at the country club, but either way, this is dead ass wrong. This is dead wrong. And this is unwarranted from a man who's done nothing in the community in College Station. Mind you, they think they want a better coach, but my question to Texas A&M fans is, who the hell are you going to get better than Kevin Sumlin at this point in time? Texas A&M is not a destination coaching job right now. It's just not. It can be. And it takes a long time for you to build up that cachet, for you to be a nationally recognized powerhouse and program. So if you're finishing 8-5 every year, that means you have a shot, you have a chance, and you are in the right direction. If he starts having 6-win seasons, 5-win seasons, get him up out of there. I'm all in favor of that. But you got to realize what you got. Because if you get rid of a coach, you got to realize what you can get better. Because Chip Kelly and Les Miles aren't walking through that door. They're not walking through that door. You guys, if you guys have any questions, comments, any of this about Right or Wrong, Unafraid, please hit me up on Twitter at George Reister, WRIGHSTER. Follow me here on Periscope or on Facebook, where you can get updates when we come on. I was flying today, so sorry about being late, but I had to make sure I brought the heat for you guys today. All right, peace out.